Hi everybody. So this is the next video in my beginner copywriting video series. We're at the point now where we're going to start discussing the actual writing of the copy. So all the preliminary work has now been done. We did the surveys on the brand, we did the customer surveys, we did the brand customer comparison, we did the pre-writing questions. All of this has now been done. And I've mentioned all along that the more detailed, the more descriptive, the more you know your answers to the questions on these surveys that I was giving you, the easier the process was going to be. And this is where the hard work of the preliminary stuff pays off. It's interesting, a lot of the copywriting process tends to be in the preliminary aspects of it. And as you've seen with this already, I mean, the first 6 videos now has been just the stuff building up to this. So in this video, I'm going to go over the actual writing of the copy. I'm going to say right off the bat, one of the best ways to really develop your copywriting skills is honestly just to notice advertisements that tend to draw you in. Whenever you are, browsing online, wherever, and you see an ad that kind of captures your attention, screenshotting, taking photos, whatever it is, and saving that to some sort of small drive, like a Google Drive or something, basically where you can go back to later, is going to be helpful. Imitation, when it comes to copywriting, tends to be something that you'd want to do because if it worked to catch your attention, the idea is the same sort of structure and style would work to capture someone else's attention. The difference is obviously the product you're going to be selling and the message and all that. So the content basically will change, but the structure can be repeated. And often effective copy tends to have kind of a formula. If you ever go to a landing page, someone's landing page for a course maybe someone's selling, you might notice that a lot of them tend to look the same. It's a lot of information. A lot of testimonials will be on there. You'll see some general price where they'll say the course is typically valued at $1,000, but they'll offer to you for $200 or something like that. You know what I mean? They'll have the scarcity of it's only going to be open for the next short window of time, so you got to buy it. This is a pretty formulaic sort of thing. I imagine that you might have seen before, and effective copy tends to sort of mimic that too. So don't be afraid to look at other people's styles and mimic that. Now, the fundamental idea, the core thing when it comes to copywriting is going to be the really creating the evocative language. You need to paint an image for your customer. Your writing there's an expression called sell the sizzle, not the steak. You're basically doing romance copy. I mean, they call it romance copy, for a reason here. You're writing to sell. You're looking to evoke an emotion. Your writing has to match that. It's a bit similar if you're coming from fiction. It's a bit similar to when they tell you show, don't tell. It's the same rule with writing copy. It's selling the evocative emotion, not necessarily the product itself. And going back to that selling the sizzle of the steak expression, if I were going to actually sell you steak, I wouldn't create an advertisement that says this steak tastes awesome, this steak is great. I would show you images of meat being cooked over a grill. I would show, the fire, cooking at the meat basically. You'd show the cut of the meat basically being put on the grill. Anything you see in the Burger King ads, something like that. It's the same thing with writing copy. You don't want to go indirectly. Approaching anything directly is probably going to be the issue. So instead of just directly saying something, you need to create the emotion you're trying to convey around that. And I guess kind of a final point when it comes to creating the copy is a lot of this comes with experience. A lot of it is going to be stuff where you're going to just over time develop it. I mean, I'm going to have a video tomorrow. Basically, it's going to go over kind of the 4 things your copy needs to address. But with all this information, you're going to have to just practice. It's going to be something to practice, and you're going to have to just notice. It's no different than learning to write fiction for the first time, right? You have to read a lot and write a lot. That's the old fiction expression. It's the same thing with copy. You got to look at a whole lot of ads, and you got to practice writing a whole lot of ads to get better. It's kind of the only way. So even though this video is hopefully going to be very helpful to you, experience is what's going to be basically going to be the driving factor. How much you've studied, how much you've looked at other advertisements, and how much you've practiced on your own is going to be huge. The knowing of your product and your customer and stuff, that is simply the content. That is in the hands of an experienced copywriter, that's basically the goal. That's basically all you need to know. But if you're just starting out, learning the structure as well of copywriting is also going to be something that you're going to have to develop, and it just comes with time. So what I'm going to do is leave the video off here. Tomorrow I'm going to go over just the 4 things your copy needs to address, and then we'll do a quick wrap up basically of the entire series. I do hope this is helpful for you. I do hope these sort of principles can be it's definitely help you if you're new to the job, if you're new to the field, trying to write your first copy on your own. I tend to, especially with copywriting, I tend to give advice that's not exactly prescriptive. I am one of the person that tends to give a lot of general principles so that way you can apply them. The damaging part of doing that is just when you're starting out in the beginning of any endeavor, basically prescriptive advice is always more helpful. But principle advice will always get you further in the long run because you can apply it to different areas. It's taking an idea and expounding upon it is what it is. So I'm going to leave the video off here, and I will make one tomorrow that will go over what questions your copy needs to address.